Okay. Oh, hey guys, you're here. Well, welcome to another episode of the TR4 restoration. We continue assembling the engine bay here and getting closer and closer to starting it soon. I'm looking forward to that, even though it is minus 20 outside Celsius I'm talking about. So we have to, when we start it, we're gonna have to open the door. So it's gonna be pretty. I know I can run a hose outside the exhaust, but you know, everything is new here in the engine bay and painted and stuff like that, so it's going to start burning. We're going to also install a new stainless exhaust, which is, I'm sure everything is going to be smoky here. We're not going to be suffering only from the exhaust gases, but also from paint and oil burning around the engine. So we definitely need the door open. So at some point next week, it's going to be positive temperatures outside, above zero. So I hope that we're going to be ready for then to start it. But if not, spring is around the corner, you know what I mean? Soon we're going to be able to start it. Anyways, what I'm doing here is, as you know, we installed the engine and most of the auxiliaries here in the engine bay. The only thing here is the radiator that I haven't installed yet because I want to torque this bolt. And for that, usually I put the car in fourth gear and pull the e-brake and then I torque it. But now here my transmission is not hooked up to the drive shaft because I still want to service the differential. So I don't know, if I run out of things to do, I might do that or just figure out another way to lock the rear end of the transmission so I can torque this and finish assembling here. But again, too much talking, let's get crack-a-lacking. No, 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 no. What have I done? What have I done? You're right, guys. Why didn't you remind me earlier? When I was assembling them, not after. Yell at the screen, hit me with something on the head, you know? Ay, 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 ay. All right. I guess we have things to undo here. Let me explain to the ones who don't know what I'm talking about. So, I didn't pay attention and I didn't realize that this set of springs has direction. What I mean by that is, look at these two, or maybe these two as well, and these two. And even the inner springs, I believe, have a difference. So, you see how there's like turns that are closer together here and farther apart here. And this one is exactly the opposite. So this, as far as I know, is called a closed end or double closed end spring because, well, we're gonna have to take them out and I will explain a little bit more about that, I guess, when we take them out. The long story short is I didn't pay attention to the direction of the springs and I just installed them, but that's not good. They all need to be this way. So now the only way is to, of course, take them apart and put them the right way. But I don't want to take the head out because then we're going to need another head gasket. Once this one is crushed, we don't want to take it apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the rocker shaft again. Of course, that's going to lead to adjusting the valves one more time later. And I'm going to have to make myself a tool that I've been planning to make for a long time and I've never done it. Well, now I think this is a good opportunity for me to make one for myself. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So that's going to take a few hours that, of course, are going to be in my time, not in the customer's time, because I'm not going to make him pay for the same job twice, right? But thanks to those of you who noticed that in my previous video and let me know. I just wish you reminded me about that earlier. Anyways, lesson learned the hard way. Let me get crack-a-locking on the tool. All right, so we figured out a way how to push the springs down. The problem is now that the valve goes down as well, right? So one option is to remove the exhaust and intake manifold again and reach from the ports here and hold the stem of the valve. The other option is what I made here. I have this, I don't know what it is, a tool, like a poking tool, which is pretty sharp here, but what I did was I put rubber cap on it and I put electrical tape around so it doesn't fall. So now with this tool I can reach through the spark plug hole and hold the bottom of the valve up. Problem is I don't have so many hands, so I have to figure that out. I have to lock this somehow here. Maybe I should hang something heavy here. Something like this, for example. Let's see how that's gonna work. No, that moves my hammer. Not anymore. Okay, let me see if I can undo it now. Ha ha ha. Okay. That was easier than expected. So let's see what I've done here. So we have 3 springs, right? Well, I undid the one, oh no, this one was upside. You see here the coils are tighter on the top, so this one needs to be like that. This one needs to be like that, and this one needs to be like that. So these are good. So this only one was wrong, but where's my, okay, I have a collar here. This is an exhaust, so I need to have a bottom collar, so that goes like that. Make sure again that this is not the wrong way. Okay, let's see if we can assemble it now. I hope you can see, but I'm going to show you another one from a different angle. There you go. One done. 7 more to go. So this type of tool is used with valves that have seals on top. So when you want to change the seals, of course, you're not going to take the head out. You just want to undo the springs, change the seal, and then put the springs back. So that's how it works. So this is adjustable now, of course, from here. With this nut, we can adjust this height. I sacrificed my pry bar, but whatever. It's a cheap pry bar, I can buy another one, but I can still use it actually. So I'm gonna go and fix them all now. Oh, yay! Ta-da! Crisis averted. It took me like 45 minutes to make the two, and another 20 minutes, I guess, to reverse some of the springs. And of course, now I have to put the rocker shaft back, and I'm gonna have to readjust the valves. But the big problem is resolved. So thanks to those of you guys who pointed this out. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't notice that there is orientation for the springs, but you see, everybody makes mistakes, even perfect people like me. Everybody makes mistakes, so thanks guys for correcting mine. And I hope that that's gonna help somebody also not to make the same mistake that I just made, but I was able to fix it, so it's good. Now, before I install the rocker shaft though, somebody suggested in the comments on that same video that it's a good idea to put a gasket here under the pedestal. And I never thought of that, but it sounds like a really good idea, because you know how there's a hole on this pedestal that lines up with the hole on the head, and the oil travels through there to lubricate the rockers. But if oil leaks from here, of course, the pressure is going to drop a little bit, and maybe we're going to have issues with the last valve. So yeah, it's a good idea to have a gasket there. But in this case, it's not only here. We need to put gaskets everywhere just to adjust the height so we don't bend the rocker shaft. I know it's like 3 thou of a difference, but still it's a good idea to try and keep it level. So yeah, let's make gaskets for here. And this becomes a special tool that goes into my special tool drawer. I have like, I don't know, probably 15, 20 special tools that I made myself for different jobs, and I always keep them in bags like that, and sometimes I need to reuse them. I don't know if I'm ever gonna need this tool, because these valves don't have seals and there's no need to do that on the car. But if I make the same mistake again, which I hope I don't, that's how we're gonna fix it. And this is how we're gonna make the gaskets. Just gonna use maybe this one. I'm just gonna use the existing hole for here. I'm gonna put a bolt inside, and with one of these pinball hammers, we're gonna go around. Okay, and I'm gonna make all 4 with holes, because I already made one, but I don't like it. So we're gonna make all 4 with holes, and we're gonna choose the best one for the last pedestal. Of course, I'm making sure not to lose the little thing inside, because that would be a disaster. Make sure that this comes out. I'm gonna keep them all 4 here until I know until I'm done. So this is how it lines up. See how much bigger the hole on the gasket is. So it should be fine. Oh, and since we are addressing comments here on One of my videos also somebody commented about the split pin that I put here at the end. They said that maybe now the hole is too big for the split pin and oil is going to start coming out from here, and we're not going to have pressure to the entire shaft inside. But the thing is, the new shafts that come now, I can't show you now because I installed it, but they put plugs in both ends. So the shaft is not open on both sides anymore. So you don't need to worry about blocking the holes here. This can just be even a washer with the split pin, just like on the TR6, for example. But thanks for pointing all these things, guys, because that's how the truth comes out. You see, that's why I feel privileged here, because I use the common knowledge of everybody. When I make a mistake, like I did right now, it comes up right away. So thanks for backing me up, guys. All right, so now I'm gonna readjust the valves, because for sure now you see now how big the gap is. Because every time you take the rocker shaft out, you have to readjust them in the first place. But also now that we added the gaskets underneath, they're gonna be, yeah, you see, they have a huge gap. So we have to readjust them now with the gasket underneath. Okay, let's finally torque this bolt so we can actually finish assembling the engine bay. So for this reason, what I did was I put these bolts here and locked this pry bar there, and also put the transmission in first gear. Rusty, what's going on, buddy? And hopefully it's gonna hold enough so I can torque this bolt. The spec gives you pretty wide range for this, 80 to 120 foot-pounds. 40 foot-pounds range. Anyways, I put it at 110. So let's see if that's gonna hold. What's happening there? Am I not in gear? Looks like I'm not in gear. Okay, now I am. Springing though. The bolts are springing. There you go. So that's 110 foot-pounds. Now we can finish assembling here, the front end. Actually, you know what? I still cannot do it. Or it's gonna be easier for me if I don't do it yet. Because I need to change the boots on the steering rack and install it. And I think it's gonna be much easier if I install it now. So whether I like it or not, I'm gonna get crack-a-lacking on the steering rack. Alright, well, actually we might leave the steering rack for the next video, because I'm currently editing this video and I had the steering rack included, and the video turns out to be longer than 1 hour already. So it looks like the steering rack requires its own separate video, which is probably gonna be 40-50 minutes videos. So let's leave this one as it is, and we're gonna make a separate one for the steering rack. So I hope you like this series and it keeps you entertained, and it also teaches you something, how not to make the mistakes I make. Yeah, thanks guys for backing me up in moments like this. Imagine if I didn't have you watching me, I was probably never gonna notice the mistakes, so thank you. Of course, thank you for watching as well, for commenting, for subscribing, for sharing, for supporting me financially. This is really generous of you guys, so thank you for everything. Stay tuned for more episodes. The video with the steering rack is coming soon because it's almost edited. So stay tuned and I'll see you soon. Bye.